tonight, so decided to just do a live. I was doing it on my phone and I ran out of space. I was going to upload later what I wanted. But we're out here, Northeast Texas, walking the Chestnut fields and just looking through what we need to cut out. All of the scrub trees that's growing and taking up space and sunlight, and basically how we can open this up more. And I'm just kind of planning what we're going to do. We're going to come back out here next month when the kids are out for a break in February for whatever reason. I was walking on the other side when I was videoing a little while ago, and what I saw, I'll try to upload that up until it cut out. But what I saw was a lot of smaller chestnut trees that have basically neglected because it's been so thick, and I've only been attending those where I can see them and open, couldn't see, and walked all the way over to the back of the property. I was already planning to open this stuff up, and we walked around the edge of all of this brush, and a good ways back there were some bigger trees where we harvested some nuts this past fall. And then we walked down the hill going towards the property boundary line, and I saw must have been about 10 trees back there of different sizes and where they've been competing with other trees, and just wouldn't have seen them because it was so thick. So I'm gonna go when I come back, I'm bringing all of the chainsaws, the pole saws, and we're gonna cut a lot of stuff out of here, bringing the loppers, and then I'm gonna bring flagging, because when I come back I'm gonna mark some of these trees. And so when things are opened up, they can get the sunlight in the spring when they start blooming. But when my guy comes back with his tractor, I'm gonna get him to keep this stuff cut. So you see it's fairly open from when he cut it back in September. And we came and harvested nuts. Most of these trees out here have dropped most of their leaves. There's a few of them where the leaves are still hanging on. That's how I was able to identify some of the trees in the back. But we just been tending to these big trees here that we've been collecting from, but I got a lot of other trees going on the backside. And basically, if I go and thin some of that stuff out and release them, they're gonna shoot up, because some of them trees are probably 4 or 5 years old, but they not grown the best because of the competition. So we're gonna do some more work at that, and then I want to also come in here and just open up some stuff, because I want to plant some more. I got some more chestnuts. I got some Eaton, the Chinese Eaton varieties of chestnuts that I want to put out here. I probably got some out here somewhere anyway. I did a bad job at just sticking stuff in the ground and not labeling, and some stuff I label but just kind of worn off. But I got a lot of trees out here that I need to release as well. So gonna thin out a lot of this stuff. I try to leave some of the oaks. I want it to be a good setup for the wildlife as well, but all of these chestnut trees we planted out here, I just want to keep those growing. So got a lot of thinning to do. So the smaller trees that's been competing with all of the brush, all of the hackberries, the elms and everything else, the oaks, release some of those trees so they can shoot up and obtain the height that these older trees got. So we're gonna, that's what we're here to do. We're walking around just kind of seeing what we have. When I had the guy come out here back in September to clear some stuff out, he actually cut a few of my baby trees because they wasn't marked. So from here on out, I gave him a key to the place, but I'm gonna have everything marked. So when he comes and cuts and I'm not here, you know, he won't cut any more trees down. I think I had some special varieties over here that he cut, like European, I believe it was a variety called Ace. And it probably come back by the roots, from the roots in the spring, but had that planted over here and he cut that down. So the guys leasing, they brought another old blind from another part of the property, put down here for hunting. Nobody's taking the deer this year out here. You see them on camera, but most of them was nocturnal this year. What we seeing out here mostly is pigs. Pigs was coming the chestnuts. We was fighting the pigs to get to the chestnuts when we was up here harvesting a few months back. But yeah, I'm gonna come back and mark some of the things that we have growing, because man, I was just with the time, and I just come out here like John Appleseed and stick stuff in the ground, stick a chestnut in the ground, and wherever it's an opening, and come back in the spring or the summer and I see that it's growing, and by that time I get back in the fall, everything's grown up. And like I said, last year, year before last, I didn't even get back for a chestnut harvest. I was so busy with evangelism and stuff like that, and I just didn't make the time. I was gonna come, missed the window. The chestnuts fell early. My guys leasing the place was coming and getting ready to set up a hunting season, and he sent me a picture, and most of the chestnuts had dropped by that time, so I didn't bother making a trip up here. But last year we was coming to cut and clear things out, and they were already falling. So we harvested what we could and came back the following week and got most of the rest of them. We left a lot in the trees. It was just me and my wife. So we're gonna get more of the family involved to come and start harvesting chestnuts. But down here, I gotta cut all this stuff out. You might gotta come in with a brush. Thick down here, and we're going downhill to a bottom area. And just along this slope, I know I planted quite a few chestnuts. I see one over there. I think these are the ones down here on this slope, are the ones I got from Mountain State chestnuts from Dunn Kinds. And I saw about 2 or 3 of them in the summer when we came. But it just was so thick getting down here, but I see a few more of them. Yeah, so I'm gonna come and do a lot of things. We're gonna do a better job at keeping this place up so the chestnuts can grow and all of the trees can get up. So I'm gonna thin all of this stuff out, at least up to this little area here. That's a chestnut there. I gotta open that up, release that. I think that's one of the Cheryl chestnuts over there. I'm looking at another one up on that hill over there. And I planted a few more in here, so I got to get in here and see what survived. We had a dry summer. But I'm going to open some of this stuff up until I get maybe 20 yards in front of me, and I'm going to leave that stuff alone because I'm letting that grow. It's a creek. When you get down in there, and I planted that up, and I wanted the hardwoods to naturally grow up at the bottom, be a travel corridor for the deer, the pigs, where else. But the hill, as we go up, I want everything back to the east, going up the hill to basically be for chestnuts. And like I said, I'll leave some oaks mixed in, but it starts to outcompete the chestnut trees or a chestnut with good quality nuts, and I'm probably gonna cut the oak back. But I'm trying to manage it in a way where we're basically allowing the natural trees to grow and create forest area, and the chestnuts can still thrive. So I remember years ago, all of this was open, because when my great uncle lived out here, it was, he kept it pretty much cow pasture, and just, you could see back through all of this stuff. You probably can't tell really well on video, but it's a tree line with older trees that line the creek. And so I wanted this whole bottom area to grow up into hardwood timber, and I planted stuff. I planted maples. I got sugar maples, northern sugar maples growing in East Texas. And I got a lot of white oaks, all kinds of oaks down here, red oaks, pin oaks, overcup oaks. The water oaks are naturally here. I wouldn't have planted such. I mean, there's plenty of water oaks out here naturally. But a lot of different trees, got a lot of pawpaws growing down in there. A bunch of pawpaw trees. Some of them been flowering for years. But I'm not getting much fruit because the ones that are flowering are far apart from one another, even though it's many of them growing in clusters. They're flat. The ones that's growing right next to the ones that are flowering flower later, and so either I'm going to have to come and hand pollinate, or some of those other ones are just going to have to mature to the point of flowering, and some of them are just about there anyway. But yeah, we've been planting that here for years. That's a white oak. I planted from an acorn in the ground probably a couple of few years back. That's another one. And over there is a big one. I planted as a seedling from a nursery down in Houston. Looking on the video, probably just look like a bunch of trees to y'all. But the one that's holding the leaves back there is a white oak. And so I'm gonna come and do something. I'm gonna just let this grow naturally down here, because this is the stuff I planted, just the hardwoods and stuff, and the natural stuff, the native stuff I'm letting grow up. Well, like I said, going back up that hill, and see, look at all that privet hedge, all of that gotta go. It's so invasive. All them little blueberries, they just drop and make more of that stuff, and that's a thick, nasty mess growing under this massive old water oak. The trunk around that thing is just huge, but you can barely get to it with all of this privet hedge. So I'm gonna have my guy come in and just mulch all that down, and we're gonna keep it cut down, but I'm gonna do bits, like a couple of times a year. We're gonna come in here and just open up and choose a different area to come and clear. What is that? That's a red oak I planted. Or is that overcup? I don't know. I can't tell what that is. I got a wire around it. I know the deer was rubbing it for a while. So I put a cage around it. And I got some maples and all that stuff down in here. And even a few chestnuts. I see some rubbing. It's a buck been walking down through here. This is a white oak. I believe, yeah, it's a white oak. I got tulip, poplar, all that stuff I planted down here. So, and one of the things we're thinking about doing for the sake of time, because I was thinking about building a small cabin or tiny home down here, just that we can come, and if we need to stay for a week or two for chestnut harvest. But heck, my wife sent me something on Amazon that was pretty nice. I got an old wood stove. Oh, actually not old, it's actually a new wood stove. And when I do build, I'm gonna install that stuff in the cabin. So just make a nice place for us to come down here and stay when we need to, or if the stuff hit the fan and we need to come to the country, you know. So, but yeah, we're gonna start working to kind of maintain this. And you know, the fact that I started out planting these chestnuts for deer. Then I realized I like chestnuts, the taste of chestnuts. And then recently I realized growing chestnuts, well, it's a heck of a market for them. And people from overseas, like the Asian and European countries, they are a staple in those places. And so I came back with a truck bed full of chestnuts that I harvested back in September. And I posted those chestnuts just to see what would happen on Facebook. Chestnuts for sale. And all them chestnuts we harvested, I don't even know how many pounds, but I had people buy me out in a matter of days. So definitely good cash crop. If you're looking for something to do on your place, chestnuts are the thing. But they're good for attracting wildlife. They're good eating. We love them. Everybody in my house loves chestnuts. My son has a nut allergy and he can't touch nothing else, but he can touch chestnuts. And he loves chestnuts. So this is something that, you know, just kind of worked out that way. I'm thinking I'm planning for wildlife, and the fact that I came across chestnuts, I don't know, that's probably just God working it out to where I was making an investment. I didn't realize the type of investment I was making at the time. And so many things you can do with chestnuts, from cuisine, baking, all types of entrees you can cook them in. I was looking up a good recipe with chestnuts and lamb and just all sorts of stuff and all sorts of desserts, soups, grind them in the flour. People that like gluten-free flour and stuff like that. So chestnuts are an excellent crop to grow. And you stick these trees out here. Me, I don't got time to be out here doing stuff. My grandmother used to always say, plant some greens, plant something you can take to market and sell. And stuff like that, you got to get up here and baby it. You got to keep the deer away from it, and you got to water it and when it's dry. And I wanted to plant something where, I wouldn't have to tend to it. And once these things get established, you don't have to worry about nothing. Stick these trees in the ground and they get established and get that taproot down, they take care of themselves. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been planting them over 10 years now. And some of these trees, heck, this one alone probably over 30 feet. And that one is gaining on it, and so is that one, and it's another couple of them around that tree line over there that basically are just as tall. So they grow pretty fast. They pretty much take care of themselves. And we'll come out here next month. I'm gonna prune some of the lower limbs and open that up so it's easy to walk under them. And so they're not rubbing against each other, and kind of give one another space so they can grow up more. And like I said, all of the brush is getting cut out. That's invasive privet hedge that's not native, and it just take over everything. So thin that out, that'll actually help them grow. I can probably put something in the spots where there's currently no chestnuts growing. But yeah, we're gonna get this place up and going. So if you're looking for something to do, something to plant on your land, I actually got a cousin next to us. I think she got 160 acres next to us. She's actually interested in the idea, so reach out with her. I'll probably help her get something established on her place. But yeah, chestnuts. It's chestnut trees that are growing that are over 1,000 years old that people are still harvesting from, like over in places like Turkey and different parts of Europe and stuff like that. So these trees will last a long time. They'll outlive you, and the nuts are good, especially when you cure them and you know what you're doing with them. So this was just a little quick update. Second live I've done on this YouTube. Usually I'm uploading videos that I've pre-recorded. And we were just out here just walking and just determining what we're gonna do on our next trip out. So we got a lot of work to do, a lot of thinning, opening up stuff, and I got some more trees to put in the ground. Some at home in pots. Also, I got to get to the other side of the property, different soil type, more native setting, and I got chinky pins, the native chinky pins. Got to check, see what's out there, and I got more of those that we need to put in the ground. Some from the Ozark Chinky Pin Foundation. I'm a part of that. One of the board members, and I got some nuts from a large tree, 15 dBH tree in southeast Texas that we collected nuts from, and I got some of those nuts. I'm gonna establish them. I don't want them anywhere near the chestnut trees because I want pure chinky pins. So on one of the other properties, we got scattered properties in this area, and so probably gonna plant some of those on there, just that we can keep the genetics of that big tree that we located, keep those alive. So this was just a little quick update. Those of you that are watching, thank you for tuning in. Those of you that'll come across later on, and those that have been following my channel for a while, that may watch this later, thank you for watching. Like I said, we'll start having more videos, and my wife is the fancy one with the tech skills, so we'll at some point start editing and have intros, outros, all that stuff. If you look at all my videos there, I just upload them and go on and move on, so nothing fancy about what I do. But these chestnuts, it's worth talking about. It's a lot of interest in them now. So also going to be selling some seedlings. I got a lot of people been asking me about seedlings, so I got seeds stratifying in the refrigerator. And I got seedlings in pots that I didn't plant out last year. I'm gonna take some and bring them up here next month and plant them. Those that I don't plant, I'm probably gonna sell those 2 and 3 year old seedlings. And so anyway, if you're looking for something for your wildlife, to draw wildlife, if you're looking for something that's that could be a staple that can feed your family, chestnuts are the thing to grow. They're the thing to grow. I know a lot of people want to grow our American chestnuts that were native, but the blight usually kills those out. You're gonna have to get some kind of hybrid or a Chinese chestnut combined with American chestnut or European chestnut. But look at those trees. I gotta thin all of this out. They got vines growing all up through them. And these medium-sized trees, they had nuts on them this fall. We collected nuts off of those, so got to get all of this brush from around them. And I think that's a little elm, cedar elm. A lot of cedar elms grow out here. I'm gonna cut all of those from around and open this stuff up. But this is my chestnut update. Thank you guys for watching. If somebody's into chestnuts or somebody that you know is into chestnuts, I'll be doing lives from time to time, but just from my probably my 10 plus years of growing them and what I've learned, what I've experienced. If anybody has any questions, feel free to message and I'll try to answer. But thank you guys for watching. God bless you, and we'll come back with another live soon.